and welcome back to Wheel Talk. I'm Jack.
I'm Si.
We've got Alex behind the camera. It's his first video with us today.
Hashtag debut.
Speaking of videos, today we are reviewing my 2011 Ford Ka.
Some would call it a Ford car.
Yeah, it works with me. First things first, I think it's important to have a little look around the car and see what bits we like and what bits we dislike.
Let's do it.
Join us. So the first thing you notice about the Ka, being a silver colour, it is a complete magnet for dirt.
Yeah.
And being the March freezing cold day it's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
And about 90% of my car is now coloured after just a few rides up and down this road. But I think that's half of the course for a silver car.
You just pick a good colour, mate.
Yeah, if you're in the market for a new car, just don't pick silver.
To be fair, I think this is actually quite a nice paint. It looks quite good. It's not a bland silver, it's metallic-y.
When it's clean, it looks very nice.
Yeah.
Come around, what should be noticed is the absolutely minuscule wheels that come with a Ford Ka. They're 25-inch alloys now.
At best.
Yeah, that's a Domino's medium right there.
Roller skates, if you will.
I think they're about 16 inches, but just look at the car. Look how small it looks. And look at this wheel.
It does look like a shopping cart.
It does.
General profile.
I could probably fit my head in that gap there as well. I won't try because I know this. So,
that's my domain.
Yeah. Coming around the front, what should be noticed, these sort of cheap plastics that can be found
here
a lot of the place and on the front grille as well.
Yeah.
This is a car made on a budget to be bought at a low cost, which it was, but when you are purchasing a car, you just don't want to be feeling that sort of things. And it continues on in the interior, but we'll go into that later.
We'll get into that in a second. Right, onto some negatives. This badge, this wiper blade arm, just bits and pieces around the car. They've got a lot of wear for not that old of a car. I mean, if you compare it to my Mini, or my dad's car,
which is about 12 years old now.
Yeah, almost 12 years old, exactly. And that almost looks perfect compared to some of just exterior bits like that, which let it down a little bit, but otherwise it's alright. One other thing that I don't like, if you want to follow me around this way, what are these nipples? Flashing nipples.
It does have side indicators, which is not
nipples.
Not standard on every car, so that is a bonus. But yes, they do look like nipples. So you are correct. Onto the interior, stepping into the Ka, it first initially should be noted that there is a rather large amount of legroom. Of course, this will sacrifice the legroom in the back, but we'll come on to that in a minute. If you want to come in here, Alex, you can see I've maybe got about 10-11 inches in there, so pretty handy for long drives. I'm only 5'10", it should be noted, but yeah, for me, it's pretty handy. Onto the driving position, it is quite an upright car, so that does impact on the driving. However, it is a hatchback, it's not very sporty, but at the end of the day, you're just going from A to B really. Sitting in the passenger seat as well as the driver's seat, in terms of headroom, again, I'm 5'10", but there's maybe an inch or two, which isn't great. So if you're a taller gentleman, like the side in the back, it will impact on that, making it a little bit less comfy, but we'll come on to that into a second. Looking at some of the design cues, it's quite a funky design, with all these white accents on the gear stick and the centre console, and around the speedometer and the rev counter, as well as the steering wheel. It should be noted that this is a aftermarket gear knob, which I have fitted myself. That doesn't come on the standard car, but that's just like a £20 extra. Looking at the entertainment system, or infotainment in very loose terms, it does take a CD as well as an aux cable down there, but you've got your normal FM, AM radio. It pretty much does the job. One thing that should be noted though is the quality of these buttons are terrible. Look at the wear on some of these. Oh, turn that off again. Don't come on there. Don't want to be copyrighted. But this is a 7-year-old car, but you don't want that from buttons you're changing maybe 2-3 times a week. So I keep mine permanently loud. Looking at some of the storage as well, got a few cup holders down here. Got one at the front, one at the back, so if you and your passenger both have coffees or whatever, you'll both be sorted. At the front, got ourselves a decent storage bin up here. Got a few CDs in there, a chamois, a window cleaner and a few wipes, which has been broken, should be noted, but we'll just click that and leave that for now. If you come down to your door bin as well, they are a decent size. However, if you do have a large bottle, like some car reviewers on YouTube, which we won't mention, that isn't going to fit at all. But in terms of small things, like a few more CDs, it's perfect. If you want to come into the back,
right, so you just push the seats forward with this little lever here. It's not too bad, quite easy. Right, now Jack's just been sitting in the seat in front of me. He's had quite a lot of legroom, and to be honest, it's not terrible, but it's not great. I mean, I can fit my hands in there, but it's quite snug. It's not great for long distances, and I wouldn't recommend it. Speaking of not great for long distances, if I sit upright, this is where I have to sit like this. I'm gonna be like this. I'm just gonna be wonky. It's not good. I'm 6'1", 6'2" with the hair, so that's just gonna ruin your hair, to be honest. But I mean, you know, when you're on the sesh, you don't care. It's a good car to be ferried about in. These seats are pretty comfy, actually. I mean, considering it's just a flat bench, it's not the worst thing in the world. But I will say this: these headrests are appalling. But to be honest, you won't need them because your head's not there; it's up here. So overall, it's pretty subpar back here. So Jack, tell me about the, you know, some basic specs.
So this car cost me £5.2 thousand when it was 5.2 thousand. A lot of money for a car, but of this spec. But I had only done 17,000 miles. I've doubled that now, so it's about 35 roughly.
Quick maths.
But quick maths. Yeah, it's a 1.2 engine,
68 brake horsepower.
Yeah. Has no VTEC, sadly.
It's a Ford.
One can wish.
Disc brakes in the front, drum brakes in the back. It's pretty safe.
Yeah, it's I think it's a 4-star NCAP rating as well. So if you are in the market for a brand new car, or as your first car, as this is the first car buyer's guide, then I would recommend it in terms of safety, especially if your mum's watching this video.
Sort of mileage and costs and all that.
Well, I'm a mix between driving on like B roads and motorways, and I get about 45 miles per gallon combined.
Okay.
Which is not terrible.
No, that's good.
So
that's good.
I can take that. It cost me about £35 to fill up a full tank. I did that this morning, and got my next points, of course. But in comparison to the size Mini, is how many mpg?
38, I get.
38 mpg.
So, but that will save you a lot of money in the long run.
That will do.
That will.
Yeah. Over the space of the 2 years I've owned it, it's probably saving me
Speaking of that, actually,
£100-ish.
tax. Mine's 200 quid.
This is only £30 a year for tax, which
really good.
Is a bargain.
Really good.
You can't really overlook that when you're thinking of the first car.
No.
It's an important factor that a lot of people forget. In terms of insuring it, I've been driving for about 2.5 years now, and it cost me about £700 a year. So
it's not bad.
Because it's a smaller car, it's generally owned by older women, small engine, and I'm a little bit an experienced driver. Then yeah, it's not bad. Perfect.
Another quick question: what is your reliability like? How reliable has it been?
In the 2.5 years I've owned it, I've replaced one fan belt because it was getting warm. That was before I owned it, and now I've, purely because I'm a bit of a reckless driver, I've had 2 wheels replaced, and that has been it. Perfect. On to the most important factor in a car: how is it to drive? We're not actually driving yet, we are stationary, but
very stationary.
As soon as we're away. There we go.
What's it like to drive, Jack? Come on.
Well, I don't really have much of a reference point, apart from the car I learned to drive in, which was a Ford Fiesta.
What about the Mini?
Well, I have driven that, but I have driven that Fiesta a lot more.
Right.
As I learned to, it was a while ago, but as I did learn to drive in it. It's, this car, it feels, you can tell it's very underpowered. Those 68 brake horsepower are not exactly great for
they're not real horsepower.
No, they're not really. They're more
like
donkey
Tesco value horsepower.
Exactly. However, just for the kind of trips I use it for, it is pretty decent. I mean, it's not the most comfortable ride. It is quite loud in here, as you can probably hear. There isn't much soundproofing.
It gets quite loud at high speeds.
It does, yeah. On the motorways, it can be a bit of a nuisance, really.
Yeah.
However, it's not terrible for a first car. I'd say, yeah. I'd say go for it, because you're not really at the point where you can judge driving capability that much. So, yeah.
Personally, as someone who has driven not loads of cars, but quite a few, and the reference point being my Mini, my main reference point, I'm gonna say that this is not the Mini is kind of the best way to explain it, I think, is that the Mini is sharper.
Okay.
Right? The Mini is a sushi knife, right?
Yeah.
Right. The Mini is a sushi knife, whereas this feels more like Tesco value.
Yeah. I'd say so.
Veggie knife.
Yeah.
With a plastic handle. No, I just mean it's a little bit more. Yeah, it's a little bit more spongy. You know.
It is. Yeah.
I think that's the best way to explain it. It's a lot more roly-poly.
Yeah.
Bit.
As it is a high riding car than yours, I feel you do get that more lateral movement.
It's plus the way you sit up like this, and the gear stick is just there.
Yeah. If you ever
and you
been in
sit
a Fiat,
like this.
yeah, in a Fiat 500, it's the same thing, interior layout as one of them, just kind of reskinned.
Yeah, pretty much.
For a bit of reference.
But I'm gonna say this: I still think it's quite fun to drive.
It's not terrible.
I would say it's about 70% of the way compared to the Mini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have driven, as you would have seen in the Mini review, I have driven size car, and that is a great thing to drive. But I think that's due to it being lowered and it has an exhaust.
And it feels fun.
It does feel fun
because it's louder, and
I think that comes with the Mini though. They are just fun cars, really.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't necessarily think of fun with a Ford Ka.
No.
But
and the steering is quite light on this.
It is. Oh, it's very light.
Actually, speaking of which, this car is a lot easier to park than mine. The bonnet is like there. The bonnet is where your toes are.
Pretty much.
You turn around, and that's where the back door is.
Yeah.
It's really easy to park.
Good visibility in here as well.
Really good.
Like you get quite big wing mirrors, and you're close to all of them, being such a small car, which is a benefit I hadn't really thought of.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't really deny that it's an easy car to park. So
it's true. If you have a lady or a male friend in here, you will note that the space between us is small. It's very small.
You can get very personal.
It can get very personal very quickly.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's consensual.
Exactly. Me too.
So yeah, but it's nice. I think overall for a first car, it's not bad. But we're probably going to say that about a lot of the cars that we drive.
And I think we are being quite nice. But a lot of cars are good first cars. That's the thing. When you need a car, when you've just passed your test, this is a good one. Now on to Si's portion of the driving to give his verdict. Do ignore the slight continuity issues with the different piercings, haircut and clothes. We've taken our time getting to this section to prepare myself to hand over the keys to Si, the maniac. But Si, first thoughts as you're pulling away in the whip?
It's all right. It's very first thoughts are it's very spongy. Everything about it is very light and airy compared to my Mini.
It's got a very light steering.
Yeah.
A lot of play in the steering as well.
It's actually like there's a little bit of play, but it's quite in the same sense direct.
Oh right, okay. Yeah.
But it's just really, really light and easy.
Yeah, I think that's quite a good thing when you're sort of like
parking and everything else. It's really good for.
Hence why it is a city car.
Yeah. I think this is a perfect small car for in the city for parking. If you struggle with parking,
this is what you need.
Bang on. It is bang on. The things that I don't like, it doesn't, obviously it's not going to feel as sporty as the Mini.
No.
I think the biggest contributing factor of that is because you sit up.
You do sit in the clouds in this car.
Yeah, you just sit like you're in an armchair.
It's like a 4x4.
Yeah, and I think this is actually quite far down, and like most of my view is just ceiling.
That is true.
Because of this weird sort of slopey roof. Yeah.
So it is 6'2", as you would have seen in the interior section. But even still, even at my height, you do feel like you are very upright. Yeah. Maybe that's something to do with the seating position. But yeah, that's something that's been picked up on in reviews of this car before. Yeah, it is very high up compared to other smaller hatchbacks.
Cheers. But I think overall, I mean, in terms of first car stuff, it's good to park.
Yep.
It's reasonable fun.
Yep.
Like it's quite. I don't know. It's fruity.
It is. And from your driving perspective now,
as in like,
sort of in comparison to the Mini, how are you thinking in terms of first carness?
First carness.
In terms of fun to drive.
Fun to drive. It's like not as good as the Mini.
No.
But it's fun-ish.
Yeah. In
different ways.
Yeah.
The Mini is like, sharp and precise, and it makes you feel good.
It does.
This is more just, it's a laugh because it's all a bit more roly-poly. It's a bit more comedic.
The Mini is a one-night stand. We had a good time, but the KA is you have to put love into it, and then you get love out. that a bit of an odd metaphor?
Something like that.
Something along those lines. There you go.
But like negatives are definitely just, it feels a bit too light for me.
Yeah, I can understand that. Especially with the hard drive position, you feel a bit out of control sometimes at high speed.
I feel like I'm a little bit out of touch.
Yeah,
But otherwise, not too bad.
No, we'll go with not too bad.
Not too bad.
Right, on to the scores. Oh, mamma mia!
Jack, lovely dogging spot you brought us to.
I'm very familiar with this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just do some scores. So, practicality first.
Yep.
What do you think out of 10?
Practicality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it a 5.
A 5?
I'm a sporting man. I can fit my gym bag in the back. Got golf clubs, as you would have seen. A fair bit of shopping.
I'm going to give it like a 7, because like it's a lot more practical than my car.
That is true.
And I'm only knocking off 2 or 3 points because of the headroom in the back. You can't sit.
Yeah, but that's where I'm knocking off the majority of my points
Right.
in terms of like adult men. You can't really fit many in here.
And I'm also knocking off a couple of points because there's only one cup holder.
I mean, there is 2, but this one
Yeah, but that
doesn't
one's at the
really
back.
count. Yeah.
Plus you got your scent in the back.
Got my air freshener in there.
And I'm also gonna but it's gained a few points from your one because I think it's cheap to run, etc.
That is very true.
Yeah.
I forgot that whole side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're gonna stick to 5?
I'll stick to 5.
Okay, cool.
Fun to drive.
Fun to drive. Having just driven it, I'm gonna give it a 5.
Yeah.
It's like midway.
Okay.
Like it's not like an 8 or a 9 like the Mini,
Yeah.
but it's not a 2 or 3. It's not boring.
No. For a fun to drive first car, I'll give it a 5 as well. It's not disastrous, but there are a lot more fun cars.
Yeah, but there are a lot more worse cars to drive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think it's not too bad.
Yeah, I think with the light steering as well.
As wheel.
Good pun. Accidental. As well. It does make it a bit more fun to drive compared to like lugging your car around all the time. So there are bonus points there.
Plus, it's easy to drive, so there's always that aspect of it being nice to drive.
Yeah, that's very.
In terms of
all-round first
car, yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 6 too.
Yeah, I feel 6 is fair.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously you would have seen it's not the most practical car, but it is cheap to run. It wasn't cheap to buy. It's cheap to insure.
Yeah, it's cheap to buy now.
It's cheap to buy now. Yeah, if you want one.
Yeah. And I think it's like relatively good fun. It fits all your mates in.
Exactly, and all you really want.
It does all right through the drive-through.
When you're 20, when you're 20, you want to go through a drive-through, and that is it.
That's it, isn't it? So
yeah, here's our final scores. So, any surmising marks?
Honestly, I think just to conclude, it's decent-ish if you've got 2 people in here most of the time.
Yeah.
And luggage. It's more of a 2 plus some luggage.
Yeah.
Or 2 plus 1 person or 2 people for a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
In terms of practicality, but it's good fun. It's good fun. It's a city car mostly, and if you live in small places, you need to park tight places.
On the same chassis as a Fiat 500, so pretty much what you can expect from this, you can also expect from that. And that often gets the rap of it being a small car with not that practical, but it's fun.
Yeah.
So, and I feel it carries through to the Ford KA.
It does indeed. Would you? Well, really quick. Would you rather have this, or would you rather have a Fiat 500?
I'd have an Abarth. But no, out of the normal ones, I'd have a KA.
Okay, cool. I think that's it, isn't it?
I believe that is. Yeah. Thank you for watching the third instalment of the new car series. If you haven't watched the first 2 episodes, go and watch them. They're pretty good. We've also reviewed this man here's Mini.
My Mini.
Yep.
More reviews are to come.
They are.
Sam's Skoda, hot rod.
Yep, we've got Cameron's Citroen C1.
Jeff. These are all names, we're not just saying random words.
Exactly. These are names
that they've given them.
Yeah. But
yeah,
you know what to do. If you
like, subscribe, all that jazz.
And hit notification bell as well. We really appreciate it. But yeah, follow us on Instagram and Facebook now as well.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Cool.
Right, thank you for joining us.
Bye.
See you next one.